All right, 7-star Blaziken arrives in exactly 1 day in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and while we know that Miraidon is obviously going to be the choice for this one, not everybody necessarily has access to Miraidon, which the game's been out for over a year now. I mean, if you don't have Miraidon, what are you really doing? You should have it by now. But if you don't, and you do have access to the Indigo Disc DLC, I have an interesting build for you. And no, it's not Bellibolt, it's not Kilowattrel, and it's not Electros either, because everybody else has posted those, and you guys should already know about those. Okay, we've used those a million times before. And it's not Iron Hands. No, today, we're going to take a look at Feraligatr, and how you can use Feraligatr as, honestly, a pretty solid offensive Pokemon that can do massive damage to a flying-type 7-star Blaziken raid. So with that, let's get to it. Okay, so you're going to need to start off by getting yourself a Totodile that you can evolve into Feraligatr. And in order to do this, you're going to go to the Savannah biome of Blueberry Academy. And we're going to come right over here to this little lake area with these two little lakes over here. Okay, and this is where you're going to find yourself Totodile. So if you don't have one yet, this is the way to do it. Indigo Disc has been out long enough now that most people should have Blueberry quests done and have access to Totodile. If not, you might very well have one in Pokemon Home that you can trade over. But at this point, there's a good chance everybody has one. If you're wanting to build Electros, there's also Electros over here as well that you can use. But find yourself a Totodile, catch this guy up, and then let's build this guy up and get him turned into Feraligatr. All right, and just like that, after a few XP candies and rare candies, and some vitamins that we'll talk about here in just a second, you have yourself one lovely Feraligatr who is honestly, he's a big boy in this game. Like, he's huge, especially even compared to, like, Koraidon. He's big. But let's take a look at Feraligatr and see exactly what we did to make this guy work. So this is Feraligatr. It is water with a Tera type of water right now, and we're actually going to change that to Stellar here in just a minute, because that is going to be the best Tera type for this one. Not Ice. Ice is going to make it so that Blaze Kick or Flare Blitz from Blaziken is going to do just stupid amounts of damage. Stellar allows us to keep our water typing and ignore any additional damage from moves like Blaze Kick or Flare Blitz. So, level 100, obviously. Held item on this guy is the Shell Bell, because we really need a way to make sure that we get our HP back on this one, so Shell Bell is obviously the way to go. No attack boosting item here. For your EVs on this guy, you're going max EVs in your physical attack and physical defense on this one, since we know Blaziken's going to be a physical attacker. Your other 4-6 EVs, you're going to throw those in your HP, and as always, you're going to hyper train everything on this guy. Ability on this one doesn't really matter for what we're doing, so you can leave it as Torrent, or if you manage to get it with Sheer Force, then you can leave it as Sheer Force, but don't waste an ability patch to change it to that. It's not worth it. As far as moves go on this one, it's pretty simple. You get one attacking move, and that is Avalanche. 60 base power, however, it is doubled if the target has inflicted damage on the user in the same turn. So basically, if we're slower than Blaziken, this is going to be a 120 base power move instead of a 60 base power move, which we are way slower than Blaziken on this one. Okay. Other moves on this one, Sword Stance to boost our physical attack up by 2 stages each turn to get ourselves up to +6. Screech to lower Blaziken's physical defense by 2 stages every time we do it, and then Helping Hand as a support move if you're doing this online. Okay, so basic strat is to hop in first 3 turns, provided that Blaziken doesn't immediately put up shield. Use Screech to lower its defense. After that, use Sword Stance 3 times to get yourself to +6, and then spam Avalanche, and you will do massive chunks of damage to Blaziken on this one. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the damage calcs and see exactly how much damage you're going to be doing against Blaziken. Alright, and here are the damage calcs for what Feraligatr can actually do against a Flying Tera Blaziken. So, for all intents and purposes, let's say that we're starting off with a clean slate here, with everybody at +0. Given the moveset that we've given Blaziken here, Blaze Kick, EQ, acrobatics and close combat here. The biggest threat that we have is close combat doing 45% to us, okay? Which seems like kind of an issue, but it's really not going to be for what we're going to end up doing here. Avalanche right now is only doing 60 power, but we are significantly slower than Blaziken is. So we're going to actually double that to 120, which means that just base we're doing 4.3% here. Okay. I don't know why that says Bombus. No, it's definitely Blaziken, but all right, whatever. So 4.3% here, and we're recovering 15%. However, we do have Sword Stance, so we can put ourselves at +6. And we do have Screech, which means we can put Blaziken at -6 on this one. This immediately takes us to 68% at 120 base power on this one. And if we add Terra Stellar on here, puts us at between 70 and 82%. And this is at a 3,000% or 30 times HP Blaziken. This is an actual like raid calculator for this one. Throwing in attack here and you're basically guaranteed to one-shot this thing. There's no way it's going to happen, but Avalanche is definitely a solid move. And this build out is a super solid build that you can use to go up against a Flying Tera Blaziken. Terra Stellar is definitely necessary here because that's going to keep Blaze Kick or Flare Blitz from doing stupid amounts of damage to us. And it's going to allow us to keep that water defensive type while also giving us that stab as well with our Avalanche. So that's your damage calcs for Feraligator going up against Blaziken. All right, but that's it. That is your Feraligator build to take on the 7-star Flying Tera Blaziken when it comes out here in just a few days. And he is very tired. He is taking a nap already. So, Feraligator, again, for anybody that missed anything, is water type. It's going to have Stellar Terra on this one, not water. Shell Bell, level 100, obviously, because we're going up against 7-star. Max EVs in your physical attack and physical defense. Adamant Nature, last 6 EVs in your HP. Hypertrain everything. Moveset is Avalanche, Sword Stance, Screech, and Helping Hand. However, you could replace Helping Hand on this one. Replacing Helping Hand with like Mud Slap or Breaking Swipe would honestly be a super solid idea. Mud Slap would probably be the best idea on this one because that would allow you to lower Blaziken's accuracy and avoid some of that extra damage. Okay. There is another build that you could do with this that involves Sheer Force and Ice Punch. However, it is not the most optimal build. Avalanche being slower than Blaziken. At 120 base power, or at 120 power at that point, is going to do significantly more damage than a Sheer Force Ice Punch is going to do. So for anybody that's curious, that's why we go with this route versus the Sheer Force Ice Punch route. Okay, but that's it. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this one, what you're bringing to take on the 7-star Blaziken raid when it comes out tomorrow. And as always, if you liked it, make sure that if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.